Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So along with Joe Biden, the COVIDians follow suit. They're introducing their own series of regulations. I mean, they're all, reductionist in nature for the winter because of Omicron. You heard from Biden yesterday. He said you're going to hear more from him today. It's going to be what you'd expect.
For unvaccinated, we are looking at a winter of severe illness and death for unvaccinated. For themselves, their families, and the hospitals they'll soon overwhelm. But there's good news. If you're vaccinated, you have your booster shot, you're protected from severe illness and death, period.
So go get boosted, and then you have the local pandemicists like Triple Threat following suit.
They're the same topic, though. You said that you're going to announce new mitigations soon for COVID mitigations. Yes. Does that involve restaurants and showing a vaccination card or a negative test to get into a restaurant?
I don't want to get ahead of that because we're still working through the fine points. But obviously, we're very concerned about this recent surge in cases. I think we're seeing more breakthroughs than we had seen before. But fundamentally, we're going to reemphasize to folks, they got to get vaccinated. If you are eligible for a booster, get the booster. That is the safest thing to do. But we will roll out soon a comprehensive set of new mitigations. We've been talking with various industry groups because we got to do this in partnership with them.
Yeah, so basically after the holidays, because, they had their Christmas party last night, the mayor's office did. And after the holidays, I'm sure January 3rd, maybe they'll come out with these new mitigations.
Well, that'll be great. And I think they should go the way of New York City and do a twofer.
What's that?
Combine combating COVID with combating crimes that you created, but crimes nonetheless. This great sting that was affected under, I'm sure, the direction of Sandinista New York Mayor Warren Wilhelm.
Oh, yeah.
He's still there. By New York police at an Applebee's in Queens.
What?
You guys want to eat? These are the I want to eat. Like a free American that I am. And you guys are busting me over this bullshit.
This is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You guys, what happened to the Constitution? What happened to free speech?
No more mandates. No more mandates. No more mandates. There it is. I love y'all. New York Freedom Rally. I love y'all.
It's a bit of a melee there at that Applebee's where a half a dozen or so New Yorkers were arrested because they were in Applebee's and they're unvaccinated. And you heard that one black woman saying, free American, I want to be free to eat, and as she was being taken out in handcuffs. For more on this, combating COVID and crime in one fell swoop, pleased to be joined again by Roger Kimball, editor at New Criterion. Roger, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great. Nice to talk to you guys.
How about that? This is not just idle talk from de Blasio and the New York COVIDians. They're really, really getting after COVID by tackling the problem of the unvaxxed in Applebee's.
Well, you use the phrase COVIDian. I saw just the other day an even better coinage, COVIDiot. The COVIDiot.
COVIDity. There you go.
And that's, that sounds sort of jocular, and this isn't jocular. I've been saying since I first began writing about this, and I thought I would be able to stop writing about it a few months ago, but now they've come back with the she, also known as the Omicron variant, and it's all happening again. Now, I am not an expert, but I have to say the expert class has really disappointed us. Anthony Fauci, the highest paid federal employee, makes more than the president of the United States, has been, he is an expert, but he has been a disaster for decades. He was a disaster about AIDS. He told people, you can look up the clips. He told people that you could contract AIDS by sitting in close proximity to somebody who had it. He terrified people. He is the origin of the myth of heterosexual AIDS and all of that. He's been a pimple on the countenance of the republic for decades. And yet here he is, the self-proclaimed embodiment of science. Someday we will look back on this, on these couple of years, and just shake our heads in disbelief that we could have been such idiots, such COVID idiots.
I hope that's
Yeah.
true. I hope that's true, because what I suspect will actually happen at the trajectory we're on at present is we'll look back on it, and most of us will be gaslit into believing this was a great day in the history of America,
Yes.
coming together as a
Yes.
people to fight off this
Yes.
virus and so on and so forth, with the
You-
great leadership of Joe Biden and Lori Lightfoot and
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom and
You-
J.B. Pritzker.
Right. Well, you might be right. You might be right, but it's our job to make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, we have to keep calling them out on this. This chap I quoted in my column for American Greatness last week, Aaron Ginn, is a technical writer, and he's quite right. He said, he's basically echoing what you're just saying, that when it's all over, the politicians will declare victory, and people will be, as he put it, subject to a Jedi mind trick and think that the people who came and said, "I'm from the government and I help," were right. But of course they aren't right, and that's the other side of this kabuki play. There you have this dissemination of fake experts on the one hand, and then you have these megaphones in the media relentlessly talking about vaccination and social distancing and masking and so on. And note, by the way, just as a kind of sidelight here, that people they insist you must be vaccinated. And two is not enough. We have to have 3. The CEO of Pfizer just said that the day's not long off, and we're going to have a 4th shot. But what is this all about? It's about controlling your life. That is the bottom line. They can make you do whatever they want. If they say stand on your head in the corner, otherwise you're going to get COVID and die, people will do it. I mean, I can't believe that people wandering around in the open air with these flimsy blue masks that they're completely useless, Yet they do it. The government has somehow transformed us into sheep. It's a sad spectacle.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. But besides Pfizer, Moderna too. Did you see their headline yesterday? Scaring
No,
Americans, saying, "Oh, are you ready for this? You could get Omicron and Delta at the same time, and that will be really bad. And so you should get your
that's
booster
ridiculous.
shots."
Do you know how many people have died from the Omicron variant?
0, right? Or one in the UK?
One. They announced just a couple of days ago in the UK that one person, and they didn't say how old this person was, what his or her medical condition was. Maybe it was an 89-year-old person with obese person with heart trouble. Well, did that person die from Omicron, or did he die? Did he die? And we don't. This distinction that I think we've talked about it on the show before. There's a big difference between dying from this virus and dying with it.
Well, that's why
people do not make that distinction either. And these viruses, a common cold is a coronavirus. This has different properties, the way in which it attaches itself to certain receptors in your lungs and so on. But they get weaker with time. They all obey certain epidemiological laws. And, you can see this happening now. This is more widespread, perhaps, but it's also less severe. And, I mean, if you have a disease where you have no symptoms or very mild symptoms, who cares? The idea that the positivity rating is going up, that's a totally meaningless statistic. It's a meaningless data point, because the fact that you test for a virus that produces in almost everyone very mild symptoms, it doesn't tell you anything. What if we started testing for the common cold? Oh my gosh, everybody has it. We should shut down society and give our lives over to these petty bureaucrats who will rush into restaurants, as that clip you played at the beginning shows, arrest people and bundle them off in handcuffs. I mean, sooner or later, I have to hope this would be a great rising up, and we should go long on tar and feathers Maybe less.
Well, I don't know because I think we're in a Woody Allen movie, and Bananas is the one that comes to mind. And I wouldn't be surprised if there is a dictate that all citizens change their underwear every half hour and wear it on the outside so the government can check.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly right. But I often take the train into New York, and you get this public announcement: regardless of vaccination status, you must wear a mask at all times, covering your nose and mouth. Well, why bother to get vaccinated?
Right.
At one point, Joe Biden said, "Get vaccinated, then you won't have to wear a mask." Well, that's gone by the wayside. So, I mean, the committee that really runs this country must be laughing themselves sick. And you're quite right. I wouldn't be surprised if they introduced some new protocol that must be followed.
And what else could they introduce?
How
could they make our lives more miserable?
Well, and to your point,
I like your idea. I think everybody ought to be required to wear their underwear out on the outside, just as a kind of a badge. I'm thinking of getting the little yellow star that has my vaccination information embedded in it that can be read with a QR code, so that we really know what's going on now. That's really a country that makes its population wear some badge like that is totalitarian. And you see all these photographs and video clips of the politicians when they get together. Do they wear masks? No, not unless the cameras are rolling.
Yeah, well, that's the Bojo Christmas scandal that hopefully takes him apart. But it is interesting too, because Gavin Newsom, we talked about this a bit earlier, provides a perfect example of this. The reality that the vaccinated can transmit makes mask wearing even more important now. Yeah. And so here's how it works: the failure or under delivery of any COVID policy serves only to reinforce the importance of adherence to every other ineffectual to harmful COVID policy, according to these people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we tried. What should we do now? We have this new outbreak. Let's do the exact same thing we did last time. It didn't work. But turn it up. Turn it up to 11.
Bigger.
Kind of.
Yeah.
The what's the name of that movie? Spinal Tap. We're in the Spinal Tap realm of things.
He is Roger Kimball, editor of New Criterion. Roger, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Bye.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Joe Manchin throws a monkey wrench into Build Back Better, and U.S. Airlines issuing warnings against AT&T and Verizon using 5G. Those stories next. By now, you know that MyPillow doesn't have their box stores or any shopping channels any longer due to the cancel culture. Well, Mike Lindell is now passing along those savings directly to you. Right now, you can get the lowest price in the history of MyPillow for their classic standard MyPillow, regularly $69.98, now only $19.98 with promo code Dobbs. They also have queen-size pillows, regularly $79.98, now $24.98 with promo code Dobbs. MyPillow is not just pillows. They have over 150 products, everything from sleepwear to beds, and my promo code Dobbs also works on mystore.com and frankspeech.com. Go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-977-9152 and